Boy, do I go back a long way with this guy. Former San Diego Mayor Jerry Sanders, now in his new role as the head of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. He's joining us this morning. Thanks for coming in. Now, let me go back to my history with you. I think when I first came in '77, you would have been, what, a police sergeant?
No, I was a police officer.
You were
in
an
77.
officer then.
Right.
And I think we met out in the street someplace doing something. And then, of course, he became police chief. And then after he left as police chief, you were the executive director of United Way.
Right.
Right? And then from there...
was the board chair of the Red Cross.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
When we had the problems.
Board chair of the Red Cross. You cleaned that place up. You're kind of Mr. Fix-It. And then you ran for mayor.
Right.
And you won that, and you were mayor for 8 years.
Well, 7 years, but it seemed like 8.
So you went to Italy for 3 months.
You know, my wife, after the last election, said, if you're going to run again, you have to promise me we're going to get away and have something to look forward to. So we planned Italy for 4 years, saved money for 4 years, and I didn't want to be here during the transition. And it was a great time to go to Italy, and she wouldn't let me read the newspaper. But we were there for 3 months and spent time in Sicily and the Amalfi Coast and Tuscany and Liguria. It was just a great trip. We had a wonderful time.
Wow, that sounds so good. You look tanned, rested, and ready, as Richard Nixon used to say.
Yeah, I've been back for 2 weeks, and I've already got to go to Mexico City for 4 days on the chamber trip. So it's been a running start with the chamber, and I've really enjoyed it.
What did you find out in Mexico City?
We talked to a lot of different people there. One of the immediate things that happened was Mexican officials are putting some additional customs people at the border for southbound truck traffic to reduce the wait time there. We talked about the sports fishing issues and getting those permits in a different way to make it easier. We also talked about a rail line that needs to be built on the Mexican and U.S. side. And, of course, the facilities on the U.S. side still need to be completed, even though Mexico has their side done. So all of those were important topics as we were down there. And I also talked to our congressional delegation on Friday at the annual luncheon, and the border is their #1 priority also, and I think that's tremendously helpful.
Well, that's really good. Now, you say that you didn't read the papers, but you must have somehow been hearing things about Bob Filner and his new entry into the mayorship of San Diego.
Well, I actually didn't while I was there. When I got back, I kind of got the fire hose version. You know, Bob and I have very different personalities and very different styles. And
Do tell.
But, you know, I guess I'm surprised people are surprised. You don't really change your style, and Bob's style is well known, and my style is well known, and people opted for a difference. So it's been a different type of mayorship so far, but I've talked to Bob extensively. We were on the Mexico trip together and had a chance to talk about the complexities of the strong mayor role, which was not something anyone else has encountered. He and I are the only two that have been under the strong mayor form, and I think he's working his way into it, and there's going to be some testing back and forth with council, and we went through exactly the same thing, just in a different way.
You've always been a great diplomat. You really have, Jerry. As long as I've known you, you've been a terrific diplomat. Did you give him any advice at all? I mean, just calmly sitting around maybe having a cup of coffee along the way, did you say, hey, lighten up or anything like that?
Well, no. You know, it's not. I'm not Bob's mom or dad or brother or sister, but you know what I told Bob is it's a very difficult job, and I think he acknowledges that. And you can't do it all yourself. You have to rely on a lot of people around you to help you, and it takes some time to work into it. And I go back to the first 6 months on when I became mayor, and it was really a rocky period. We had no money. We had a brand new form of government, and people, you know, weren't sure what was going on, and I think the same thing's going on now. It's a transition, and I think Bob will figure it out as he gets going. But he's always been a legislator, and we talked about that. Legislators don't run things. They simply kind of throw out stuff every once in a while, and he's learning. He's a CEO now, and I think he'll pick it up.
I'm laughing because you didn't tick as many people off in your first 6 weeks, so
well,
we'll leave it at that. Jerry Sanders, thanks. I know we'll see you again and again as Regional Chamber of Commerce head and everything. Good luck with that.
Well, thank you.
He's always been employed. That's what I like about him. Maybe, you know, he's always been employed. He's always found a job, just like that. People are waiting in line to give you a job.
People want me out of the house, so
is that what
it's
it
a
is?
good thing.
Rana, your wife, just
right.
says, get out of there and do something.